Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Morrowind. Well, last time, we were attacked by robot dinosaurs. I'm gonna be honest, I did not see that coming. And as a result today, I need to make a decision. One I'm deeply conflicted about because, yes, basically, at this point, I need to choose who I'm reporting to about the robot dinosaurs. The issue being, my choices are the king, who's a paranoid serial poisoner who has repeatedly attempted to murder me, or Almalexia, who I did give an incredibly dangerous magical ring to just before the robot dinosaurs appeared, which does make me think she was probably responsible for this, so, okay, don't really see a great option here. But what I will say is, the king, for the most part, is just deeply unpleasant and gets involved in a bit of murder. Whereas Almalexia, feel like potentially, if she keeps going down the path she's on right now, there's a good chance she's going to destroy the entire space-time continuum, and, I'm gonna be honest, that seems more entertaining. Like, I'm just kinda curious where Almalexia's nonsense is going. So as a result, we're going back to the temple. So, Phaedrus, fun fact, there's robot dinosaurs attacking the city. And okay, sounds like you already know. Quite possibly because, as I say, Almalexia has got to be the prime suspect for where these bloody robot dinosaurs came from. Though on the other hand, yeah, despite dispatching High Ordinators to deal with the actual dinosaurs themselves, he wants me to go and investigate. These attacks are an affront to the city and the lady. We need to learn more about them. I understand a passage has opened up in the plaza that leads to some Dwemer ruins, and right. I figured there'd be Dwemer ruins somewhere nearby, because yeah, that guy in his basement with the Dwemer Centurions, they had to come from somewhere, so, okay, while I'm down there, look for some Dwemer scrap, because that's what that guy wanted. So, okay, go to the statue, check the ruins. That's where the entrance is. And on top of that, you know what? If it's not Almalexia, then yeah, his theory is pretty good too. These things might be of Dwemer origin, because they were a bit robotic, and robots, generally in the Elder Scrolls universe, you only really see them when the Dwemer are involved, like old Dwemer constructs, spiders, centurions, that sort of thing, so, alright, I'll give you, that's not a bad theory either, Phaedrus. And just out of interest, while I'm literally passing the palace and whatnot, is it possible for me to, like, you know, play both sides by also going to the king and getting a request from him to investigate the ruins? And okay, Tienius knows I went to the temple first, so it's possible that's going to count against me in future. However, that doesn't mean he's not willing to do work with me. He also wants me to go and investigate the disturbance, so, okay. It's possible I can come back to both factions and turn in what I discover for like a double rewards. Oh, and while I'm here, fun fact. So, every single conspirator who's planning to kill the king all mysteriously went missing. So, oh dear, they've escaped all of them. There must be a leak here in the palace. Well, you've done the best you could. Okay, so it turns out Tienius is not the sharpest tool in the shed. Gotcha. Bare minimum, though, he's not stabbing me. Next up, right. He wants to find the person who's writing the Common Tongue, that newspaper. And I'm not entirely keen about this, so, yes. This guy wants the papers shut down. I need to find him and persuade him to stop, so, okay, if I just say, hey, the newspaper's kind of true, like, the king is a serial poisoner, I'm guessing he's going to say, yeah, I know, but I don't really care, it's my job to make it stop anyway. And oh dear, don't let our association confuse you into thinking I'll tolerate disrespectful speech concerning our sovereign. So, okay, he wasn't delighted by me saying that. Still, I'm gonna say yes for the time being, because it's possible I might be able to go to the newspaper and offer to help them in some capacity, just like we helped those guys escape. And here's interesting. I just came back to Berenzia, in case she had anything to say about the robot dinosaurs, and, as far as I can tell, no. But on the topic of Sotha Sil, the third of the tribunal, yes, this has come up before. powerful mage, and a wizard with mechanical devices. So, okay. I think Sotha Sil just became our prime suspect. He's down at the bottom of this Dwemer ruin, creating a robot dinosaur monstrosities, and for some reason has started sending them upwards. So, right. Probably best we go and track you down and have a quick chat, my friends. So okay, back to the plaza, and they were saying the broken statue, like, that's where these monstrosities are burst out of. So, okay, just hop up onto the guardrail here to get up top, and okay, I do indeed see a ladder down to Bam's Amskend, apparently. And straight away, I'm hearing noises here, so okay, what we've got is a big old fight. So okay, if these things are Dwemer, they're not like, you know, traditional Dwemer artifacts that have just woken up or anything, because the Dwemer Centurions are fighting them. So okay, whatever these things are, maybe they are slightly Dwemer-y, they're definitely not allied with this particular Dwemer hold. And speaking of which, this place is bloody fancy, like architecturally, this is very different, but then again, previously, we've been seeing Dwemer holds over in Vardenfell. We're a lot further south these days, and on top of that, hang on my friends, looks to me like we've got a few, guys sitting next to each other, so just nuke all of you, and can't help but notice I'm suddenly losing a lot of health too. I feel like possibly, yes, there may have been a bit of, beautiful, sexy reflect going on there. Because all of a sudden I was taking a lot of damage. And hilariously, that guy's not even dead. So right, down we go, and okay, you're an advanced Centurion right there. So okay, hang on. You'll stay next to your friend. I don't have enough mana. Right now he's running away, which is good. So you just stay there while I finish you off, buddy, and okay, possibly the Centurions down here are special expansion Centurions who are not messing around. Because that wasn't even the Steam Centurion, that was the basic one. So, okay, how about we stay up top and just toss magic at them? Right, back we go over here, this time with much more magic and also my correct robe on. So just nuke that entire area right there, though once again, reflectors definitely knackered me a bit too. That's fine. This is why we bring loads of sandwiches along, though because of the strength of my own blizzard spell, right, I can't quite counteract it if it bounces back at me. And on this occasion, oh, there's so many more of them. Right, go over to, like, you know, Firestorm, because that's even flipping stronger, so just nuke that area and did I set that to touch rather than target? Hang on, hang on. I think possibly I may have made a mistake when I was... oh, I definitely set that to touch. Never mind. Keep tossing Blizzard down. Blizzard is okay too, though there's... oh dear. There's lots of... right, hang on. They've got... oh! Turns out, they've got good projectiles too. I may not be ready to go into this ruin. Right, this time... stay back, because yes, if I just let these guys do their own thing... okay, how many of you are still alive at this point? Way less, I think. So, okay. All we need to do now is take you out, step by step, while just, you know, munching on sandwiches in order to keep my own health up. Because presumably, you guys are a bit on the damaged side anyway, and... that did like nothing to you, but hit me. This is not going well. Instead, just let them gather right at the bottom if they're all going to come in this direction. Now, I can hit several of you, though be careful and... okay, seriously, these guys are not messing about. So, okay, just toss a blizzard downwards, using, yes, the actual range of it. Because you guys appear to have, like, some sort of throwable, which I swear is not common for you guys. So, right, that's you dead. But where precisely are the Centurions? because there were definitely Centurions left alive in this room. There we go. I see you. You've definitely got some really good reflect on you. So much so, in fact, I've burned my entire magic meter, which is, as a reminder, like 1,000 MP. I'm not sure I've even scratched this guy yet, so... okay, just... oh, hang on. I'm falling down the... I've slightly fallen down, but that's fine, because honestly, yes, you're much less resistant to physical, and my block is keeping me alive, so... oh, hang on. One more yet, though. One more yet. Honestly, right. That was nowhere near as bad with physical. So, I need to get in up close and personal to deal with advanced steam Centurions. Because, yes, it turns out they are very, very magic resistant. Problem being, and there's a 3 scrap metal. Beautiful. Yeah. They've got excellent projectiles, or at least some of them do. So if I do decide to get up close and personal, they could potentially be right. Dwarven shock darts. Damage 10 to 50, and also shock damage with a bit of radius built in. So even if they don't hit you, they'll still do something. And I'll give you, for a dart, that's pretty bloody good. What I really want, though, is, yeah, the scrap. Because I think that guy wanted 10 pieces. So we're up to, what is that, 6 altogether. Turns out scrap's heavy, right. And unfortunately, yeah, these fabricant things, or the dinosaurs, they don't seem to drop scrap. Like, they are very, very different. So, okay, get over to the other Centurions. Okay, gonna need to, like, drink some Sujamma. Perfect. That'll keep me going, at least for, like, 30 seconds or whatever. So, tragically, yeah, I'm not sure we're going to be able to get enough out of just this room. So, okay. Just out of interest, am I even allowed to go any further? That's the Passage of Whispers, which I feel like I shouldn't go into. Like, that feels like a bad idea. This way, the Hall of Winds. Not locked, though. If I want to, I can. Uh-oh. Okay, this is... no. Okay, if I can get on top of them, that's not so bad. And these guys are not so tough. A Dwarven dart, still tough, I'll give you, but not quite as bad, because they're not enchanted. I just need 4 more flipping McGibbles, and right. I don't think you are actually that bad one-on-one. Like, I can finish you off in a fair few hits, and my agility means you're struggling to hit me. So wait for him to fall over. Okay, there's a tiny bit more. That's up to 7. Keep on keeping on. Old Dwemer book, but unfortunately, right, I can't read these books, obviously. We know that, yes, Dwemer is a bit of an obscure language. Not many people can translate that, so... right. All I want is a handful more scrap. If we're lucky, a single Centurion could deliver it to us. That's just boots. We don't need boots. Though there's also scrap here on the table. So, right, that's 8. Better and better. Together with... okay. Spoiled Dwemer oil. Damaging. But it does boost acrobatics, which is pretty cool. So, okay. Eyes open, because these guys can be very, very tough indeed. You're the one I already killed. That's fine. Then there's you. So, right, you could just go down. That's 9. I think, yeah, you weren't one of the archers. Just one more, and then we can get the flip out of here. No trouble. Please have scrap metal on you. Right. Pretty sure that should be everything we need. Though I will say, this engine is producing a weird green smoke. Now, I've seen Dwemer mechanisms still working down below in Vardenfell. But I don't recall them ever going, 1, this fast, and 2, producing green smoke. Okay. I think possibly, yes, Sothasil has got this place working better than it used to back in the Dwemer days. Instead, yeah, materials I've not seen before. Advanced robots. Equipment operating a little bit better than it used to. And inside a chest here, we've got a Dwemer satchel pack. Now, what precisely is a Dwemer satchel pack? officially just a miscellaneous item. So, okay, we'll just leave that here, and maybe come back for it later. Because, yes, right now I don't even know what that is. The best I can tell, that's all we've got here. I don't see a way to go forward any further. This appears to be just a dead end. So, okay. That's good news. We've got the scrap. Though admittedly, to carry that, I needed to, drop the mace of Avar Stonesinger. So having picked that up again. Okay, how precisely are we going to get out of here? Because I was about to say, using magic, but no. No, we can't do that, because I'm out of magic. Okay, let's just rest here for, like, yeah, 2 days, give or take. Beautiful. And now we should be able to walk out of here using Aria Smash. Now, it's possible I may need to fly out of here, depending on... hang on, can we get on to... right, we can get on to you. We'll come back to this place later, because it would appear that, yes, it's a little bit difficult. The Centurion's here, not bloody joking about. So, back outside, step 1, let's, yes, make our way over to... hang on. Yes, God's Reach. Because if we go there, we can turn in the scrap. It was one of these houses right here in the back streets, I think. Yes, Ignatius Flaccus. That was the chappie. So, okay. Just to get downstairs, give him the stuff. You're very welcome, good sir. Unfortunately, he needs one more favour. So, right. 3 Dwemer cogs. I don't recall seeing cogs on any of those corpses or any of the shelves. So, okay. Next time we go back to that ruin, because sooner or later we're going back to that ruin to track down Sotha Sil. Possibly my next mission, in fact. It would not surprise me if that's what I was told to go and do. Yeah, there's gotta be cogs down there somewhere. And you know what? Fair's fair. I went to the temple first to get the mission, so let's turn in the results to the palace first. That way everybody gets to be first at something. Oh, and here's exciting. For the first time since we arrived here, the king's actually bloody here, so... okay, step 1, I have indeed investigated the disturbance, and it turns out the robot dinosaurs were fighting the regular Dwemer robots. And aside from finding that concerning, he's got nothing else to say. Instead, okay, the king himself wants to have a chat, and I agree, we do need to talk. Because, yes, you've, like, killed a lot of people. You've also tried to kill me previously, and in general, you're not a nice person. So, right, you'll have to forgive us for the slight inconvenience earlier. Do you mean the fact that, yes, you were trying to murder me? I'm glad that we are ready to, like, you know, discuss that straight away. A regrettable occurrence, they're a difficult lot, but they do have their usefulness. I'm certain they'll no longer be a problem for you. Well, probably not, no, because I did murder them all, that is true. And on top of that, it appears we were given some misinformation. So okay, various well-paid sources in Vardenfell suggested you could pose a threat to our monarchy. That can't be allowed, as I'm sure you understand, and... I mean, okay, on that front, he's correct. Like, I do have a habit of going into multiple organisations, and several months later, I'm running the show. I can understand how he would be concerned that if I, like, you know, ever rocked up at the palace, I would slowly work my way up the ranks until approximately 4 weeks later, I would be the king. So, you know what? Fair enough. I can understand how that would be a concern. And speaking of which, it's never easy to assume the throne, especially with the unfortunate set of circumstances that led to our beloved King Lethan's death. There are those who would seek to profit from such events, to take the opportunity to create unrest among the people. There are those even who would wish to see us dead. Yes, many people in fact. Like, in that regard, you are not paranoid. There are so many plots against you. Though just out of interest, what do you have to say about King Lethan? May his spirit rest in peace. Okay, so you're not really acknowledging the poisoning. Your own captain of the guard seems very happy to talk about how, you know, you kinda did blatantly do it. And as for the plots against him, does this surprise you? Even now, there are those who would see our head on a pike. What better way to achieve one's goals than to have others remove those that would oppose you? Surely you have some understanding of this. In fact, we have recently been told of a plot against the throne. So okay, when you say some understanding, right, the Moragatong, That's true. I have done, like, you know, a fair bit of political assassination myself, so I'm not really in a position to judge you too harshly. Fair enough. And speaking of which, right, yet more cooking plots against this guy. Some of my informants have learnt of a possible assassination plot against our royal person. I'd like more information on this. However, I don't want to compromise the safety of my guards or my informant. I believe, however, you would be suitable for this, so... okay. Go around the corner to the pub in God's Reach and look for an orc. Find him and ask about his uncle's farm. Who know what it means, report back to me with your information. So, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm somewhat tempted, now this guy is finally here, to just murder him. Because he's not a nice person. But I'm gonna wrap up his missions first, just in case by doing them, I can get my hands on some really bloody good magical artifacts or something. Because despite the incredible artifacts I've already recovered, do bear in mind, right now, I have no enchantment on my boots, or my trousers, or one of my gloves, or either of my shoulder pieces. So there is plenty of space in my build for new mega artifacts. Oh, and while I'm out and about in town, just need to quickly nip back to the magic shop for a second. Right, target, not touch. Firestorm V2, welcome to the spellbook. Oh, and that does remind me, while I'm actually here in the market, I did see someone in the comments say I should really be poking around, yes, the various other stores that aren't just, you know, the main ones over there, like the Armourer or whatnot. So, okay. What precisely have you guys got going on? Oh, hello, sexy. Right, I'm guessing you're referring to this guy wandering around the central area. So, by any chance are you in the market for trained scribs and rats? Okay, well, how trained are we talking? Because I'm definitely in the market for an army of scribs. So, okay, I can have a scrib for the low price of 20 gold, or a rat for 25. They're trained to follow you and attack anyone who attacks you. And that's great. But this is tribunal. And, you know, as I was just saying a second ago, enemies here appear to be of the super-powered ridiculous variety. So I'm not 100% sure that, like, scribs are going to assist with that. Now, alternatively, I could buy an exclusive pack rat for 100 gold that will follow and fight and also carry my burdens like a tiny rodent Lydia. But right, in a pinch you've also got fresh meat, so, oh dear. When they die, you're just supposed to, like, eat them. I'm not sure I like this idea, Mr. Mon. But you know what? I'm going to buy one scrib, just in case, like, you know, it turns out this is, like, a super-powered scrib. I'm not convinced this scrib is going to do that well against my enemies. When he dies, I'm going to be really bloody sad about it, so I'm not sure this is a good idea at all, actually. Also, I think possibly scribs weren't like other companions, because, cut up a notice, I've immediately lost the scrib. So, right, by any chance, when you're going through a door, if your companion isn't close enough to you, do they just, like, fall behind and thus get stuck? But because you're not a regular companion, you're a scrib. Think of immediately. Nope, there he is. He's down there. Right, are we going to be cool again now? Right, he's now trying to follow me again. So, okay. We just need to keep an eye on my scrib friend, so... he's also sort of juddering a lot, it must be said. I'm not sure I want to actually have scrib friend. Not just for the emotional harm it's going to do when it inevitably dies, but also by the looks of it, yes, I need to be, like, making sure it's very close by to me, or it won't be able to go through load zones. So, oh dear. This is not going to end well. I'm not sure about this. I do enjoy, though, that he primarily moves by sort of vibrating towards you. That's a good, at least. So, okay. Me and you, scrib friend, let's go to the pub. Because we're supposed to be looking for... yes, hang on, that's the wrong way, isn't it? It's you over here. Right, if we go in this direction, we need to find an orc and ask after his uncle's farm. Here we go, friend. You're definitely new, because, yeah, I met everyone who was here previously. So, right. One, the lad offers some basic training, and not bad at all. But more importantly, yes, let's talk about your uncle's farm. so I don't have an uncle, and I don't know you. So, right, hang on. He doesn't trust me. That's fine. We can just, you know, win him round with a bit of persuasion, etc. Okay, that should be enough to get you talking. Okay, I get it. Code words, whatever. Here's what you should know. And what the informant knows is, the king's paranoid. No, it's treason to even think that sort of thing, but it's true. He always thinks someone's out to get him. The man's had me checking into every conspiracy every week for the last month. And keep telling him, you're king, you're gonna have some enemies, but does he listen? No. This time, though, there might be something to it. I found some disturbing information. My sources tell me there's a plot, but not against the king. From what I've been able to gather, there'll be an attempt made on the Queen Mother's life. Not sure who would want to target her. From what I know, she's got no enemies. But that's what my sources are telling me, so... Okay, Berenzia. Everything we've ever heard from anybody, Templeside or Palisade, just random people on the street is, we love her, she's great, I'm so glad she's back. So yeah, who on earth would be wanting to assassinate her? Also, I can't help but notice, as we try and leave the pub, the landlady's kind of blocking the stairs right now, meaning my scrib can't really follow me. And I feel like this might actually be the best thing for it. You just stay here, scrib friend, and be like this pub's pet, okay? This is a nice, safe, warm place for you to stay. Gosh darn it, he was able to follow me anyway. Oh, scrib friend, you should have stayed in the pub. It would have been far safer for you. And okay, the king doesn't seem too surprised. Other sources of mine indicated the same thing, and the attempt will be made tomorrow night. My mother must be protected at all costs, but I don't want to tip my hand to these assassins. So here's how we're going to protect my mother. It would be unwise to station more guards outside her doors. That would alert the killers to our knowledge. Better to catch them in the act. One of our royal guards could be involved in this attempt, so they'll be kept occupied elsewhere. You're going to stay in the antechamber outside of my mother's chambers tomorrow evening, and deal with the assassins when they arrive. Close the door behind you, then hide behind the screens so as not to alert them to your presence. Meantime, find out whatever else you can. So okay. Plot against Berenzia and... I mean, normally, when we're talking assassination, I would assume you were responsible, because, you know, you're the guy who assassinates bloody everybody. But as far as I can tell, yeah, you don't really, have a problem with your mother. No one suggested at any point that there's any rift between the two of you. So okay, it's currently 10 PM, suggesting, yeah, basically this needs to happen in approximately 23 hours. And while I may not be able to rest here, I am allowed to wait, so, okay. Don't worry about that for now. Let's just mosey in this direction and see what I can find. Because he was saying, find out what you can. Well, if the target is Berenzia, then presumably, yeah, if there's going to be one person who knows something, it's going to be Berenzia. And there we go. The mysterious plot. Do what you must, friend. I am not concerned. So, right. I get the feeling that, yes, potentially Berenzia is fully aware that if the assassins did get past me, she could deal with them. I'm guessing she's got some powerful magic up her sleeve. Still, let's follow the planner here. Shut the doors and make sure there's nothing to, yes, tip off of these guys. So, there we go. My journal's been updated. Brilliant. I'm now in position, and I've closed the door to the room behind me. So yes, everything should be pretty much fine. And I've even got my special firestorm ready to go, though. If I fire that in here, can that hit Berenzia? Does that go through walls? If it does, that could be a problem. Okay, he said tomorrow night. If we're playing by the same rules that werewolves do, night begins at 9 PM. But let's start at, yes, 6 PM, and then just advance time, 1 hour at a time, until we get somewhere. Oh, and hello, Sexy. There's definitely, someone in here. That looks to me like Dark Brotherhood. And they're definitely in the King's pocket, so... I feel like this is the King's doing. Right, well, presumably, this is the point where we just flipping nuke them. So, hi guys, you just get flipping nuked actually, and... Okay, oh, hang on. Right, I think possibly what happened there was my own magic reflected off of them, but then I resisted my own magic too. So, right, door here, just make sure. Right, Brenzia is not dead. And yeah, definitely Dark Brotherhood. All of that stuff right here. So, okay, that's you guys all dead. You're welcome, Brenzia. Seems to have been taken care of. Good work. So, okay, I suspect, yes, had they made it in here, she could have taken care of this. They did not seem that tough. So, you were able to hold off the assassins? Interesting. Maybe the threat was not as great as it seemed. I mean, 3 assassins did make it into the room next door to where your mother was, so, I mean, there was definitely some threat there. But regardless, right. By your actions so far, you've proven yourself to be strong and loyal to our throne. But it's now time for you to prove yourself to me. Personally, I've got plans for you, Arya, and it's almost time they were put into motion, so... okay, we might be coming up on whatever your big move is here. So, right, what do you need me to flipping do? Need those close to me to be powerful and able to defend me from any adversary. Maybe you've met my personal bodyguard, Carrot. He's a perfect example, the finest fighter I've ever met in all my travels, and loyal to me to the death. So okay, I met him many years ago, a deaf and dumb child wandering the streets of Wayrest. The boy actually had the audacity to try and rob my stepsister, Elisana. I marvelled at his courage and took him into my employ. When a dog has been beaten, Arya, it will lick the hand of one who feeds it even the most meagre of scraps. Now he is my most loyal servant and one of my most deadly. And I wish for you to fight him. Okay. So you're suggesting I become your new champion. And that's correct, and I've come to know you, Arya. I believe you could be of some use to me. But the plans I have will require someone of great strength or wit. Maybe both. The time has come for you to prove this to me. You'll return here tomorrow, and you'll duel Carrot. If you could do this, we'll discuss my plans for you. Okay. So this sounds like a very, very good idea, potentially. If we just do this one thing, this guy might open up about what his big plan is. You've got to think, given we've heard from the temple, they want to make some sort of move against the king king's got to be planning some sort of move against the temple as well. And yes, this would explain why the first time we tried speaking to Carrot, we didn't get much out of him. The lad doesn't speak. And I figured this might be the case, right. Basically, the moment anyone asks me to do anything, go and speak to Brenzia, because she just bloody knows literally everything there is to know. And on this occasion, right. Sounds to me like she might have just added something new to my journal, so... okay. The king did say, come back tomorrow. And in the meantime, though, you'll often find him at the nearby pub, enjoying a brandy. It'll be difficult for you to defeat this man in combat, Arya. I wish you luck. So, okay. The fact you just mentioned this, and the fact it just went into my journal as well, I think we should maybe be moseying in that direction, checking in to see whether there's maybe something we could do to, oh, I don't know, rig the fight in my favour a bit. Because, yes, obviously we can't speak to him. There's basically, yeah, no way we've got to communicate with the chappie. However, Brandy was just mentioned, and... okay, definitely lost my scrib friend at some point. I don't know where scrib friend went. Hopefully he's, like, you know, in the palace. Somewhere nice and warm and dry and whatnot. So, okay. I don't see the guy here right now. However, my good friend, the bartender. So, Ritesh serves this man brandy almost every night. And Ritesh here is sure to duel him tomorrow. Ritesh is sorry, he'll be losing a new customer. So, right. Why, of course, Carrot cannot lose, though you do look a bit dangerous to Ritesh. And Ritesh would not like to see the lovely Carrot disfigured in any way. Ritesh would hate to see that, in fact. So if you promise not to mar the lovely Carrot, Ritesh will help you in the duel. So, okay. You want this guy to survive and ideally not be too badly hurt. And if I agree to do that, you'll help me in some capacity. Go on then. So what precisely are we talking about? Ratesh will have one of his barmaids occupy Carrot for the evening. He'll be very tired when it comes time for the duel. Fight well, but don't hurt the face, not the lovely, lovely face. Ratesh would miss seeing a beautiful Carrot, so... okay. The lad's now gonna be exhausted in some capacity. And okay, I don't really want to, like, you know, wait anywhere to get my magic back for the simple reason... yeah, I don't want to miss the duel tomorrow. So I'll just do some potions to get most of my magic back, though, yeah, my most powerful spells are area spells, which is not ideal. And yeah, I've got Lightning Nuke, which does 100 damage for 2 seconds, and I can afford to do that. The problem being, honestly, that's doing barely more damage than my actual hammer is once you factor in casting time versus swinging time. So I'm not really sure that's going to help me that much. And I can't do my big area spells, because they'd hit the king, assuming, you know, the fight's going to take place in the throne room. My best bet's probably just going to be, go for a paralyzer, and then whack him with Sundar. Right, and speak of the devil, it's now past midnight, and yeah, back in the throne room, Carrot has now moved. He was previously on the other side. Which suggests to me, yeah, now it's officially the next day, we can probably make this happen immediately. So, weapons out, and when I say weapons out, let's go for the paralysis. I literally can't move while I'm holding the Peacemaker, because then I lose the bonus strength of Sunder, so we're off to a great start here. Right, do Aria Smash, so I can actually, like, move, and whatever. And okay, my king, let's flipping do this. And apparently, Carrot's looking a bit under the weather. But no matter. Maybe you've heard Carrot's never been beaten. And it's true, amazing don't you think? Regardless, this will be a fair fight. You may both use whatever weapons are at your disposal. I wish you both luck. None are to interfere, and you will begin on my command.
We are in your debt.
So okay, everyone is clearing the floor. Beautiful. As soon as he comes in, we just whack him, and no, and... okay, he's resisting. He's resisting so much magic, this is not working. Okay. On the other hand, he's not actually hitting me that hard. Once I factor in my shield, and also my potions, and sure, this random bit of dinosaur juice I've got as well, I think we can just straight up out-tank him, thanks to what we did in the pub. So okay, now we just go for him, and, I mean, I'll give you, you've got a lot of bloody health, but, hold, I am beaten. You are the greater warrior, Arya. You should now speak with my liege. And we do not continue the fight, because we did promise not to mess up his face, though... okay, I'm gonna be honest, I thought it was mentioned previously he, like, couldn't speak, but... okay, maybe I misunderstood something at some point. Anyway, weapons away, I'm now the new champion, hooray for me! And you, my king, now need to tell me about your ultimate mega plan. And there we go. I've seen you fight my champion, though I find it hard to imagine how you have succeeded. I didn't believe anyone could best Carrot, but you have shown me otherwise. And he speaks as well. There are depths to Arya that I will fathom in time. For now, you have proven yourself to me. So okay, I have indeed defeated this chappie. So 1, that gets me a dagger, which is not particularly interesting. But 2, let's talk about some plans here. As I'm certain you know, Morna holds one of the seats of power for the tribunal. The goddess Amalexia resides here in her temple, surrounded by high ordinators. I have no great love for Amalexia, her ordinators, or the tribunal of which she is part. In light of recent events, though, I believe it's time to gather more information about them. So right, you just want me to be like, you know, a spy or something. And by the looks of it, yes, his working theory is the same as mine. This is beyond anything dreamt up by the dwarves. Creatures like this would take the power of a god to create, so... okay. When you say god, you could be referring to Amalexia, or alternatively, you could mean Sotha Cell. And in fact, that's precisely what he means. All indications are that these creatures might be the constructs of Sotha Cell, and only Amalexia is going to have information about him. I wish for you to speak to her, learn what she knows about the creatures, and report to me. There's no reason for the goddess to suspect that you and I may be allied. Use this to your advantage, and don't approach me again till you've learned all you can. So right, he's presumably concerned that potentially, yes, a member of the tribunal might have gone a bit rogue and started creating a robot dinosaurs that he's unleashing on the city. And while I don't normally like this guy, I will agree that is definitely something that is worth being very concerned about. Well, you know what? This is going to work out perfectly, because I need to go back to the temple anyway to, yes, hand my report over to Fedrus. Hopefully, he's not going to be like, too annoyed that I blatantly went to the palace with this information first. And right, he wants me to report directly into Almalexia, so, okay. Into the central chapel. Lovely to see you again, Almalexia, though. Okay, on this occasion, I think we need to discuss Sotha Cell. And for the time being, right, she's not willing to say any more. Possibly she doesn't have the same theory about this guy that the king has. Instead, okay, she's apparently got a task for me. But any chances of going back down to that Dwemer city, because I am not sure about that. That place was scary. And okay, apparently yes, the attack has triggered some other problems. On this occasion, a cult that has recently formed, led by a young Dwemer named Eno Romari. They call themselves the End of Times, and in these troubled times, I fear the cult is gaining in popularity, and you know what? I can understand how, yes, sort of doomsday cults would form at the moment. Like, this is a society that's worshipped the tribunal for many, many centuries. And all of a sudden, everything's changing very quickly. More and more people are aware that 1, the tribunal aren't as powerful as they used to be, and 2, some of them aren't reacting that well. Like that doctor in the infirmary was becoming increasingly disillusioned and unhappy with Almalexia. So, right, some people are not taking these changes well by the sounds of it. Though on this occasion, something very weird's going on inside this cult, because many of its members are turning up dead. Okay, at least 7 of them found so far. All dead, all in their own homes. It appears they ingested a strong poison, and not even my magics could revive those who were found. We must find out what drives this group, and rid my city of their presence. Speak with Merlin Othen at the Great Bazaar. His brother Seville was one of those found. Learn what you can about the Maria, and about this Eno Romari as well. But take care with him, though. The words of a martyr cry louder than those of a zealot, so okay. If we find him, don't kill him if we can avoid it. Gotcha. Still, I would say, with yet another royal conspiracy dealt with and a brand new threat emerging, how about we call it a punt there? But next time, right. By the sounds of it, we need to go and investigate this mysterious cult. Though at the end of the day, you're right. I think despite me and the king's differences, we are in agreement on one thing. The real threat is Sotha Cell, even if Almalexia is not willing to confront it yet, so sooner or later, we're going to be going back into that Dwemer city to track the bastard down. So hopefully you join me next time for that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Morrowind. Thank you very much, and goodbye. So okay, I've been outwitted by a butterfly and beaten up by a fish.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
I didn't steal anything! I'm sorry, I touched the shoes while I was shoe shopping. Okay, I feel like I may have just, walked in on something. What about this person? Can we talk to this person?